Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden, and in today's video we are going to be going over 7 more hot takes that I have with cars. A couple weeks ago I did the 7 hot takes that I have with cars video, and you guys kind of liked it. I mean, it was just kind of average views if I'm being honest, but I enjoyed doing it, you know, and I enjoyed reading the comments and seeing what people agreed and disagreed with. One of the ones I put in there was BMW is the best brand of all time. Obviously, that's 100% opinion-based, and it's just me thinking that BMW is the best. And so I liked seeing other people saying, like, oh, I think this brand's the best, and this is why. And it really opened my eyes up to some other brands. Like, I've never liked Ford. I think, and I'll be honest with you, it's not one of the... Is it in this list? No. I think that Ford is one of the biggest sellout companies of all time. I think they make cars, and they say, like, they're really good at marketing, and then people eat up the marketing and start hyping up the car when it shouldn't be hyped up. But then somebody like mentioned down below, like, Ford has done some great things. I'm listed them all, and I was like, hey, you know what? He's kind of right. So I like doing these. It's pretty fun. Song of the day is Justin Timberlake, believe it or not, Mirrors. Yeah, it's a good song, okay? I don't care if I'm a freaking 12-year-old high school girl going to her freaking Friday night out with her girlies, and they're wearing those really goofy looking, you know, sunglasses with like they're like bright neon green and they have like the lines across them. I don't care if that's what you think I am. I like the song and it's good. But without further ado, let's get right into the list with number 7. Coming in at number 7 spot is going to be American muscle cars only continue to get better. I said it, I'm not going back on it. Here's, in my opinion, what happened with American muscle cars. 60s, early 70s. Perfect. Holy moly, these cars were monsters. They were making 400 plus horsepower freaking cars back then. That was crazy. And then late 70s, early 80s, they absolutely fell off. And they never really regained traction until like the mid 90s. And then after the mid 90s, everything that's come since the mid 90s, in my opinion, are just getting better and better. People in the American muscle car like community don't like the newer generations of American muscle cars because they think like the ZL1 1LE and the GT500 are more track oriented rather than just straight line performance. And so they're like, they're not a muscle car, they're a sports car. I like that better. I think that's so much cooler than having your car be restricted to just one thing. It's not like these cars are slow in a straight line. They're still some of the fastest cars out there in a straight line stock. They're incredibly fast, the ZL1 1LE. If you think they're not, go race them in your stock Camaro SS and see if you can beat one. You won't. Okay? Then now all they do though is they have an added bonus of also being able to handle very well. And I think that's awesome. And they're just, again, they get better and better and better and better year and year and year over. And I know the American Muscle fanboys don't like them and they think that they're worse, but in my opinion, I disagree. Coming in at number 6, this is one of the hottest of takes I'm going to have in my entire life. Every car that's ever been made by Bugatti except for the EB110 is ugly as hell. And when I say like ugly as hell, I don't mean like, oh, I don't really like it. No, like I actually look at the Bugatti Veyron, I look at a Bugatti Chiron, and I think to myself, that is a car I would not want to own. Like I would not want to be seen driving it. And I know that obviously, you know, most other people in the world disagree, so it kind of doesn't make any sense because even if I find it ugly, you know, if I'm seen driving it, other people are going to find it beautiful. But I don't know, man. It's just, if I'm driving a car that I personally don't believe is beautiful and I don't believe is cool, it doesn't make me happy, you know, even if everybody else does. If I don't think it's cool, then I'm not happy with it. And that's just kind of how I am with Bugatti. I think Bugatti is, also, I think they're just overrated in general. I mean, the Veyron, I know it's an old car at this point, but dude, it's a $2 million hypercar. And sure, it had the top speed, but it is slower around the Nürburgring than the FK8 Civic Type R. Yeah. It is slower than a Civic around the Nürburgring. Yeah, it's a Type R, but it's a $40,000 Civic versus a $2 million Bugatti, and it's slower. I know that it's faster in a straight line, but if I'm paying $2 million, I better have everything. You know, it better be able to handle well. I better be able to go fast in a straight line. I better be able to accelerate well. It better be comfortable. It better be reliable. Well, reliable is kind of stupid, but yeah, I don't know. Bugatti, I don't like them. I've never liked them, and I don't think I ever will. Coming in at the number 5 spot, my dogs are barking. Perfect timing, guys. Number 5 is Time Attack / Hill Climb Racing. I'm going to really hope and pray that you guys can't hear that. Is way cooler than drag racing. I like drag racing. I've been to tons of drag racing events where I'm from, and I love going there and watching. I'm not saying drag racing is not fun. It is fun. Trust me, I love it. You know, if somebody's going to ask me to go drag racing with them tonight, I'm going. But in my opinion, Time Attack / Hill Climb, or even circuit racing, is more fun, at least to watch. I would have to say it's probably even more fun to do it. So, well, okay, so it's kind of weird because if you have like a real drag car, you know, making 1,000 horsepower, then it's probably a lot of freaking fun launching that thing off the line and keeping it sturdy down the adrenaline's probably crazy. But then again, if you have a real time attack car and you're ripping it around corners, that's also probably really fun too. But I don't know. In my opinion, I enjoy watching videos and real life racing that's hill climb and time attack over drag racing. That's all I gotta say. Now, I've never truly done either. I mean, obviously I've done like poles in my cars, and I've obviously done canyon carving in my cars as well, but I've never truly done like the actual thing in either of them. So maybe my idea would change if I did. But based off of like what I see and what I watch, I would much rather watch hill climbs and time attacks and circuit racing and stuff like that. Coming in at the number 4 spot, this is the one that made me want to do this list again, because I was actually talking about it with my car guy friends the other day, and it is minivans are kind of cool. I don't know why people feel the need to hate on them. Now, when it comes to like Tesla, Prius, Kia Soul, I totally get why people hate those cars in the car community. I am not going to try and sit here and say like, oh, they're pretty cool. No, they're not. I understand that they suck and they're not cool cars whatsoever to us. You know, to other people, sure, they're probably cool, but to car guys, a Tesla sucks. A Prius is not fun. A Kia Soul is useless. But minivans, they get hate in the car community. As a matter of fact, in like one of the Fast and Furious movies, there's a massive joke about Paul Walker driving a minivan after he's been, you know, a street racer his whole life and he doesn't like it. But my question is why? Now, if you have the money, if you don't have like the money to afford multiple sports cars, then I understand. You know, you probably don't want to have your only car be a minivan. But dude, if I had like 2 sports cars already and I was just looking for something to just daily drive around, I would, even if I'm a single man with not a soul that underneath my roof that I need to care about, I would still buy a minivan. Because if you are going out with your friends, I don't think people truly understand how clutch a minivan is. Dude, 7 seats, reliable, comfortable, good gas mileage. Sure, they don't look good, they're not fast, but you don't need that when you're going out with your buddies. It is all, imagine, I go on road trips quite a bit. I probably like 2 or 3 road trips a year with my friends, and we always take my friend's Jeep Renegade or my friend's Subaru Impreza hatchback. Those are the 2 that we always take. If I had a minivan, I think about this all the time. If I had a minivan and we could all just pile into the minivan, that would be so much fun. And everybody would have leg room. Everybody would be comfortable. It would be awesome. And I don't know. I like them a lot. I think they're really cool. Coming in at 3rd place, however, is going to McLaren. Is the coolest supercar brand. And Koenigsegg is the coolest hypercar brand. In my opinion, they're 2 different things. I think even though the P1 is technically a hypercar, I think McLaren is massively a supercar brand rather than a hypercar brand. And Koenigsegg, I don't think I've ever made a supercar. I think they've only made hypercars. So they're a hypercar brand. And in my opinion, McLaren is way better than any other supercar brand you can go up with. Porsche, I don't like them. Lamborghini, I love them, but I'm just, you know, I think McLaren's a lot better. Ferrari, I hate because you can't modify them. I think that's absolutely stupid. Any other supercar brand out there is not going to come to terms with McLaren. And then when it comes to hypercar, same thing. I actually don't really like a lot of hypercar brands, if I'm being honest, so it really wasn't that hard of a competition for Koenigsegg. But like Pagani, Bugatti, Rimac, I don't know, what are some other hypercar brands? Think of any of them, I'm not going to like them better than Koenigsegg. Zenvo, you know, it's like, I don't like the hyper. Koenigsegg is, you can clearly tell, cares about building cool cars rather than just like breaking records and having their name plastered on a wall. Koenigsegg makes really unique, cool things that car guys would like to see. Their new Koenigsegg CC8 GT or whatever it is that's coming out is going to have a automatic transmission, but you can put it into an H-pattern manual transmission whenever you want. That's awesome. That's ingenuity. That's cool car guy stuff that we all want to see. Imagine you have imagine they take that into like a normal everyday cars. Imagine your next BMW you buy is an automatic, but when you want to turn it into a manual, you can. That would be cool, and Koenigsegg's the one doing it. Like, I love them. Coming in at 2nd place, I mean, this is kind of obvious if you watch my channel because I mention it a lot, but the Ford Ranger is one of the best all-around vehicles out there if you are like just looking for a daily. It truly is. Because now here's the thing, they're cheap, so you know, if you have money and you're looking for a daily, it would kind of make sense to just go with something newer and buy something better. But at the same time, you can buy like a really low mile Ford Ranger, like 20-30,000 mile Ford Ranger still, and it's still gonna be pretty cheap. And that's what blows me away, is the price on them. I mean, obviously we have cars in this world that are really, really good deals. Civics, Accords, Honestly, I know I'm going to sound like a psychopath for saying this, but 328i BMWs, naturally aspirated BMWs, those cars are really, really good for, building some, or just having a good daily driver. But the Ford Ranger just checks all the boxes. It's reliable as hell. It can go over any terrain. It's good in the winter. It doesn't have a lot of space. So, I mean, I guess, if you were trying to transport people a lot, then it might not be the best. But I mean, it's a truck, so you have a truck bed. You can fit things in it if you're carrying some 2x4s. You can tow things. I mean, you're not going to be towing a diesel truck on a trailer anytime soon with a Ford Ranger, but you can still tow some smaller things. And it's just all around, and it can be fun because it's a rear-wheel drive truck until you put it in 4x4 mode, so you can have some fun with it too. Like, everything about it is just perfect for if somebody's looking for just a literal, I'm not saying something that's like really cool, If you want something that's really cool, you got to look. But if you literally do not care about cars and you just want something that is going to be reliable, fun, and just a good goddamn car for under like $5,000, the Ford Ranger is perfect for you. But first place, the biggest hot take in this video, I think, is going to be I'd rather own 20 cheap tuner cars than one supercar. I feel like most people nowadays aren't this way. If you're like an older guy, I feel like you're probably going to agree with this one. Almost every old guy, I say older, but I'm 23, but everybody around like my age and older than me, I feel like kind of agree with this. If they were ever won the lottery and they're a car guy, they wouldn't buy go out and buy a Koenigsegg or a Lamborghini. They would go out and buy a bunch of tuner cars or older muscle cars. If they're an older guy, that they like the American muscle stuff from the 60s. If they like that, they'd go out and buy a couple of those. Yeah, that's me, man. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I would not buy supercars. I mean, if I won the lottery, I probably would. But if I woke up with $1 million tomorrow, okay, I would go out and buy like 10 cheap tuner cars that I can modify and have fun with and change everything about them and always have something new to drive and always learn each and every car and not really worry too much about breaking it since it's cheap and I don't gotta pay $5 million to fix the car. I would rather do that. It's just so much cooler to me to have like a cool little lineup, a cool collection than just one really cool car. Like, sure, are the girlies gonna care about my 10 freaking tuner cars that are parked in my garage? No, they're probably gonna hate it, as a matter of fact. They'll probably it's gonna be a challenge to get laid. But I don't care, okay? I don't care if the girls want to see my supercar, okay? It's not my thing. I don't do cars for other people's attention. I do cars for me, and I like them. Like, I'm looking at my Integra right now, man. It's beautiful, and it cost me $3,000. I love that car. I'd buy cars like that if I had a lot of money. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video of the 7 hot takes that I have with cars. 7 more hot takes. I did a video again a couple weeks ago. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you enjoyed, and let me know if you want to see some more hot takes or maybe cold takes. Takes I have that everybody thinks. If that's what you want, hit me up. Hit up the comments. Also, let me know any hot takes that you have that I might either agree or disagree with. Let me know what you would disagree with on this list, and then let me know why you disagree with it, because I'm telling you guys, that is interesting to me. Like, I like reading comments and seeing what people think. The other day, I made a freaking video, and it was about like helping me choose my next car, and I got like 100 comments in the first 8 hours, and I replied to every one of them because it was fun. I was sitting there having a blast. Hearing what other people had to say about certain cars that I wanted. Most of you guys, by the way, chose the 335i F30, so that's probably going to be the next car if you're wondering. But yeah, it's like that was fun to me. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know again in the comments. Talk about something. Let me know. Talk about something. I want to listen. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Das Vidania, and have a nice night.